Let's start off with New Mansa, Joaquin Buckley fighting ABDUL RAZAK ALHASSAN. Both of these fighters are coming off of a win in their last bout. Buckley's win is against Antonio Arroyo. And for ABDUL RAZAK ALHASSAN, lest we forget, my man, this was one of those weird twists of fate, right? Because he knocked out Alicio Di Chirico, who knocked out Joaquin Buckley with a head kick, but he knocked out Di Chirico with a head kick. So it's like head kick on head kick. At that point, whose head kick was nicer, AJ? Was it Buckley's or was it Alhassan? In your just recent memory, pull it from the memory banks if you don't mind.
Man, Buckley had a smooth head kick out there too. Oh man, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Buckley head kick because it was kind of a little bit more shocking to me. But that Al Hassan head kick was also smooth. Who do you think?
I like the Alhassan head kick a little bit more because when I remember watching the fight, Di Chirico literally like flew from one side of the cage to the other after that head kick, and I was like, bro, to do that to Di Chirico, like that is incredible. It goes to show the power of ABDUL RAZAK ALHASSAN, but it also shows me a couple of issues in this matchup when I was kind of viewing it. So off of the bat, man, 13-4 is Buckley, 11-4 is Alhassan. 100% of Alhassan's win have come via knockout. That is the problem in and of itself. For Buckley, 77% of his wins via knockouts, 23% via decision. Has a little bit of a longer average fight time, about 7 minutes and 30 seconds, as opposed to 5 minutes and 42 for Alhassan. But Alhassan averages 2.3 knockdowns per 15 minutes, man. So when he hits hard, but he has to hit, he has to connect, he has to land. This is literally fire versus fire here, AJ. And my question to you off of the bat is, if this comes down to a slugfest and it goes all 15 minutes and nobody gets knocked out, who has a higher likelihood of getting the nod, in your opinion?
Ooh, I would probably say Buckley just because he has a slight and a very slight advantage in the gas tank. I think both these guys have gas tank issues, but Al Hassan is so damn thick that it is hard to keep blood pumping to all those muscles for that long, especially his lungs where he needs it is hard, but actually getting going because this dude has power on power and they both have power on power. So it's hard to say, but I think Buckley has a very, very slight edge on the gas tank. What do you think?
I would agree with you. I think both of these dudes will inevitably get tired. I do think Buckley, in a weird way, is small for his weight class, like in a weird way, right? Because he's stacked. He's stacked, jacked, thick with 5 C's, you feel me? But like his stature, he's just a little small for the weight class, in my opinion. Because he's a middleweight, right? Like I could see him cutting down to welterweight and being a savage at welterweight. However, let's fight when we're feeling good, when we're feeling healthy. When it comes down to it, AJ, in terms of the striking, I think it's interesting because, so it's like Buckley lands at a little bit of a higher clip, about less than a strike higher in terms of significant strikes per 15 minutes, but at a much lower accuracy level. So 37% to 48% for Buckley as opposed to Al Hassan. How do you think that's going to factor into this fight? Because like I said, like if Al Hassan, he has to land, he has to hit the big blow to get you out of there. Buckley, not really. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be clipping you. He's going to be landing weird shots. Remember when he knocked out Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja? It just comes out of nowhere. Like it's like he's just in your face the whole time until next thing you know, it's like you just get hit by one of a combination. Al Hassan is more one at a time. So that one at a time versus that combination, we already talked about who could get the nod in a decision. But just in terms of a straight scrap, like how does this play out in your opinion? You know what I mean? Are we going to see one person leading the dance as opposed to the other? Is Buckley going to be in the face of Al Hassan, or is Al Hassan going to stand his ground and he's going to be the one walking down Buckley, who will be inevitably, actually they're the same height, because Buckley's kind of short. They're both 5'10". So, I mean, how do you see it?
Yeah, no, I definitely think Buckley's going to be leading the dance on this one. I like the style of that pace and that pressure, kind of keeping you busy, throwing the punches out there, sticking and jabbing and moving, and then the big one comes across that you don't see. I like that. The problem is in those long combinations, your opponent has the option to use your force against you and get that KO. That's one of and honestly, it's the same thing for Al Hassan. He can sit there, he can wait, and then he can blitz in, but then Buckley can use that crazy power that Al Hassan is putting forward against him, throw that counter shot, get a knockout. I can see this happening both ways, man. But I do believe that that Buckley's going to be on the front foot. He's going to be outpacing. He's going to be working the shots, going to work the punches and the jabs, get going, get Al Hassan thinking, get him sit back, and get him a little gun shy. Because once either of these fighters feels the power of the other one, it's going to be interesting to see how the demeanor changes. Because both of these dudes are thick with 5 C's, man. They got all the power in the world right there.
That's
Five
five
C's.
C's. Five C's, brother. Okay. Great assessment. Great breakdown, brother. Now the question is, who you got? And what's the over and under? So let's talk over and under real fast, brother, because I had it pulled up, but I don't have it anymore. So let me just pull that out. Tell me that while I'm pulling it up, brother. Who you got?
Man, who I got? Shoo, this one was a little hard for me to pick, Derek. Man, if this fight is in a phone booth, I think it's a coin toss. Personally, I think, and this is arguable, I think Buckley is the better fighter with a little bit more gas tank in him, but not the better fighter doesn't always necessarily win. So me personally, I think a knockout's happening, and I'm going Alhassan KO round 2. I think he's going to land a big bomb, but it's going to come a little bit later in it. If I had to guess, I'd say the over-under is about 1.5. You got to tell me what it is, Derek. If that's the case, I'm going over. But,
Okay.
I mean, we'll see. What do you think?
All right, so we'll see. So apologies, folks, because you know what I mean. Let me pull myself back up. I had to do a little bit of scrambling over here to go and get the over and under, something I slacked on a little bit. So let's pull it up in real time, brother. When I'm looking at it, and this is, let me get it to us, this view right here. For those who are watching, okay. So, for what I like to do to check on the over and unders, I go to betonline.ag, free advertisement, I guess. But let's look at it, brother. We got, you see my man? Okay, over and under, 1.5 rounds. Look at my man, on point right there. 1.5 rounds right there. ABDUL RAZAK ALHASSAN versus JOAQUIN BUCKLEY. -105 is the over, -125 is the under. And tell me one more time, did you say under or over?
I'm going with the over. I think it's going to happen a little later in the second round. KO for Alhassan.
Wow, you were a bold man, my man. I'll just say that off the bat. You were quite a bold one. So I'm going to go for Buckley in this fight, AJ. And you know what, man? 1.5 rounds is a long time. Once again, folks, you have to pass the 7-minute and 30-second mark to get over 1.5 rounds. And with that being said, I'm going to go the under. How about that, brother? Someone's getting slept. Come on, this is a firefight. At this point, unless they're very gun-shy, I think someone's getting slept early. So you're going Alhassan, a little bit of a later knockout. I'm going Buckley with an early finish, whether it's submission or knockout, I don't know. Pretty positive. Yeah, Buckley has 0 submission wins, but you never know, man. You never know. Probably a knockout. We'll see. Fun fight either way. And with that being said, cool. And folks who are watching, sorry, I've been slacking a little bit on the graphics right there. I needed to pull that up, but I didn't. Sorry.